IPSH, that's right. So the quick story there, by the way, which is actually something we look for in entrepreneurs now as an investor, is I was very lucky to have failed fast and failed first. And what we tell other entrepreneurs to do is fail as quickly as you can. Ideally, not on our dime, right? Fail on your own dime first, and then come to no. But I was lucky to have had an epic failure, right? Philly Tonight raised $1 million. We spent it very well. Obviously, we had billboards on I-95 in Philly, commercials on MTV. All of a sudden, 2001 came around. There was a big .com crash. Nobody was able to raise more money. We had maybe 10 grand of revenue in the entire business. And it wasn't aligned with our business model, which was online advertising. This is, by the way, pre-Google. So we were selling ads directly to venues. It was for building like some random Indian uncle a website, right, for $10,000. So totally not aligned with our business model. But anyway, we couldn't support our 40 employees and our lush whatever offices, and so we had to wind back all the way down. We had $500,000 of debt on our balance sheet. You know, I was 22 years old, so we had no other option but to actually file Chapter 7 on the business. Yeah. And that was an incredibly humbling experience, right? Especially being a son of an immigrant. Those Indian uncles and aunties that gave us the money, I was like kind of the laughing stock of the community, right? Those Diwali New Year parties, where the same uncles and aunties were like, that kid filed for bankruptcy, you know, in a bad Indian accent. But you know, that was really humbling. But the good thing is you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, right. And when you've experienced that failure and you've seen it in its face, all right, and you can overcome it, then a feeling of resilience and you know, overcomes you, and you feel like you can do anything, right? Because you've already experienced the worst. And I think I was very lucky to have experienced that in my very first business. I was like, if this is the worst that can happen, bring it on, right? And by the way, the human body is very interesting. The human mind is very interesting. You adapt things called muscle memory based on your scar tissue. And believe it or not, you will subconsciously avoid a lot of the pitfalls that you committed. The mistakes that you made the second time around, third time around, whether you're conscious of it or not. And so your businesses do get better over time, and your decisions should get better over time, just naturally, just unconsciously. And so anyway, I was very lucky to have failed at that business. We declared bankruptcy, actually bought the assets back. We moved to San Francisco. The asset that I bought back was a mobile software technology that actually helped send text messages to consumers. We used it at Philly Tonight to actually send text to folks to let them know what was going on in the city.
For parties, yeah.
For parties, and then we pivoted, made it a B2B platform, so we were able to use it for brands. We actually started with artists like Nelly and Madonna, who actually were customers. Madonna joined our board for that company, which was a whole nother story. And that became a successful SaaS enterprise business. The cool thing is those Indian uncles and aunties I gave equity into the new company for. They already had a chance to write up that investment, and so that business was then acquired in 2005 by Omnicom Group here in New York. Right. But that journey was, 6 years through a bankruptcy. When I moved to San Francisco, I was paying rent from my favorite pastime, which was DJing, a couple times a week. And just working on the business during the day. But that was like my first cycle of business, and I learned. I got my MBA during that period, on the street with that real experience.